This would, in gameplay pacing terms, be an excellent time to have a unique and interesting challenge to put the player through right before the final boss, just to, shake things up.
Give you one little quick, okay, are you ready for the final boss or no?
Were you expecting them, Kubo?
Unfortunately, though, that's not what Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII is going to do.
I'm gonna do this for them. The new world should belong
Instead,
to
it's just gonna
humanity,
get us to
not
walk
God.
through some corridors
I
and
don't
murder
care
some
how
things.
powerful he is. I will destroy him.
Anyway, Mog is here. He has items, not a great selection, but he has a few things that you can restock on if you need to. And he also will allow you to synthesize abilities if you need to, but
It's the final shop. It's a final shop. Any questions about the final shop?
I'll be right here.
right. Well, like I said, you're kind of boned on equipment if you're not properly set up for that. But otherwise, he's there for you.
The game does throw you one bone equipment-wise, but, in time. All in good time.
So, the Trial of the Savior is essentially just walking down these 4 corridors filled with enemies.
And this one's called the Trial of Judgment, because the battles all require you to use a judgment somehow. But look, I don't fucking know, just go with this, okay?
Yeah, if you pay attention as we go past like the windows, each of these areas does have a unique area showing. Like this one is Erba.
Hey, and it's got the music as well.
Yeah, like you can see the ruined highway out there.
It's an extremely video games thing to do. Hey, look, they switched out the skybox every time you go into a new area in this place. So, aesthetics, video game design. It's good to know that Crystal Tools is actually capable of these things. I was beginning to wonder. But yeah, for the most part, it's corridors and enemies. You walk through the corridors, you murder the enemies. Sometimes they make you murder the enemies and then the doors open. But yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. That was the first trial.
Wasn't that fun?
For each of them, you do get a unique spell at the end. It's similar to Ultima. It's a 100 ATB cost spell in each element, and basically it does more damage the less HP you have. So it's kind of like a last resort thing.
These sound really awesome, but like they're just kind of awkward to fit into anything resembling a strategy in this game, so
Yeah, you'd have to be using one of the guards that specifically makes you do more damage at lower HP, which is kind of a dicey proposition, so...
this is not a game that lends itself very well to danger play.
Yeah, Paper Mario this is not.
Anyway, for some reason, you have to like complete whichever one you choose as soon as you go into it. I don't know why.
Have to be prepared. I'll always be.
It's like, I guess it's to provide some sort of semblance of challenge, because realistically, this is not hard stuff.
I don't see how it affects challenge at all. I mean, you can walk all the way out and you can buy items, but all it means is that you can't do like a quarter of one and then a quarter of another, and I don't know why you would do that, but
Yeah, I think it's basically to stop you from, like, going, like, once you're in, you are reliant on whatever supplies you have. So, like, you can't, like, go in and then realize, oh, no, I gotta go back and then buy more X potions.
But you can do that though. You can literally do that. You can just walk out the front. Like you can't start. I mean you can't just go into one thing. Hey, it's Cocoon. Yeah, you can't like walk into the Judgment one and then do like half of it and then go and do half of the Strength one. But you can go into the Judgment one and then walk out and buy more stuff and then do the rest of the Judgment one.
Can you? I've never actually tried doing that. I assume by the way it was worded that it locked the door behind you once you walked in.
It locks all the other doors. Like, yeah, it's really weird. It's very weird. It's not like this is even a huge challenge as it is. Yeah. It's something to put in a dialogue box, I guess. I mean, some of these fights are actually slightly hard.
There's one in, I think, the third? It's either the third or fourth trial that we do that is quite silly, but we'll get to that.
Mostly these are just here so that you can like get used to fighting the enemies here, and so that you can have a big space to walk around in when you want to extinct them, and you better believe that they will be getting extincted.
Yeah, I don't have all 3 of the fights in this video. Like 2 of them are going to be in a separate one just because Blazing didn't feel like making this one 25 minutes long, but yeah, don't worry, they're all going to die.
Everything except the obligatory thing that can't die. I think this is the only place in the entire game where Mionexans can't show up. Or maybe they can. I don't know what the invisible clock is set to here.
Admittedly, I don't know, but at the same time, we've already exterminated them, so they can't spawn anyway.
But like, if we hadn't, could they still spawn here? Because I'm pretty sure that it's not, like, the time isn't flowing right now because it's the end game. So I don't know how that would work.
Be prepared. I'll always
I'm assuming no, though.
Yeah, I would assume no.
But hey, it would be just like this fucking game to do that. I'd almost think it was a tiny bit cool, except, you know, very tiny, like really, really infinitesimally tiny bit cool.
Anyway, I apologize for the constant switching of accessories and everything, but as we've seen in the last video, these guys will wreck your shit if you are not properly equipped for them.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know if I do actually like or not the fact that this game doesn't have a like really, really solid everything gambit. I don't know. The interplay between the 3 things that you set up is roughly as important as the attributes on any given one, so it's not like you make like a single garb that's good for dealing with one kind of enemy and then another single garb that's good for dealing with others. So you have to make a set of 3 that's good for dealing with stuff. So on the plus side, strategic depth. On the other side, more menu navigation in between fights.
And as if it wasn't obvious, this is the Valhalla corridor.
Like, I've got nothing against games that like allow you to do very, very in-depth strategizing of your build. I do not like games that encourage or require on-the-fly adjustment of your garb as a matter of regularity. I'm looking at you trying to juggle multiple techniques in Final Fantasy 15. Some hot bullshit, let me tell you.
Alright, well, we're almost done here. Only one more to go.
3 of these very exciting corridors have been walked down. I wonder if this isn't some kind of ironic, knowing, laughing tribute to Final Fantasy XIII.
Given how the rest of the endgame goes and everything, I do not trust them with that much self-awareness.
Like, hey, we're just gonna make you walk down some corridors for old time's sake.
Like, if this happened in the early game, maybe, but at this point, we are thoroughly back in, like, actual Final Fantasy XIII territory.
There's a couple of I don't know want to call them, if I want to call them, conspiracy theories that believe that the dreaded Chapter 13 of Final Fantasy 15 is in fact a big knowing reference to Final Fantasy 13. I won't really dignify that one with further consideration, but it is very funny. I like the idea of Square Enix doing that. But in order for that to actually be deliberate, the entire company would have to have approximately the level of self-awareness of the person who runs the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account. And that's a tall order. What is this? Is this Palom Polum?
I think that's Eden, actually. Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, when you go into the final area of 13, you go into that big weird building that has this really long, tall, curvy thing.
Ah, yes, I definitely remember anything at all about Eden. It was definitely a very memorable place in video games.
Also, yeah, this room.
Yes, this room.
This room has like 10 monkeys in it.
Well, I only counted 7.
I want to say it's 4, 4, and 1.
Well, I think... I don't think the exact number is really the point of the endeavor. I think the point of this is that there are a lot of them.
Yeah, there's 7. But yeah, so that's a very silly fight. That took a little bit of my supplies, shall we say?
Yeah. I do like that this game does manage to keep up the challenge. It's good. I think too many Final Fantasy games don't manage to do that. Like, and we have, like, even when we have systematically gone through and done all the things, and we've got all the best equipment and all the garbs and all the top tier stuff, and we've leveled up all the stats, we've finished all the side quests and gotten all the meaningless incremental buffs.
You know, the game, and yeah, even despite all that, the game can still kick your shit in if you're not paying attention.
Anyway, here's a last one. Am I right in thinking that all of the monkeys, including the big ones and the small ones, are all classed together?
Yes, that is actually correct. They have one population tracker for all of them.
That's very good, because it means there's only a single last one.
Or at least specifically of that type. So like the Fire Ice and the Sugriva are one group, and the Electric Monkeys are all one group. So, but they're not connected to this one.
Now, I was about to say that that's good, because it means you only get to you do a single last one fight. You don't have to fight them in a big group, and that will make it broadly easier. Unfortunately, about the exact time I was intending to say that, you proceeded to die twice in a row.
Yeah, these guys do a bit of damage, shall we say?
It's possible that they are tremendous assholes. It's a good thing you've learned perfect guarding, because, yeah...
I say that's not perfect guarding, that's me sitting there in my physical immune garb.
Oh. Well, it's a different kind of perfect guard. It would still help, though. I don't know if there's anything that you can do about his fire buff that he has.
Not really. I guess I could have used something that reduces fire damage, but that would take away my physical immunity, so...
Yeah. You could have dispelled it, maybe.
Probably. But realistically, there's no point in dispelling buffs that you can't steal, so...
Oh, I don't know. there's a bunch of approaches. That's one of the things I liked broadly about Final Fantasy XIII in the first place, is that the buffing strategy was very, very fiercely viable. Like, buffs mattered, management of them mattered. Like, trying to power through them was one approach, but it was only so likely to work. Synergists, man.
So, now that we've completed all 4 trials, the game tells us we should go investigate the altar.
It's a good thing the game told us to investigate the altar with the 4 glowing beams of light pointing at it, because I'd have never thought to do that myself. Like, what is this arcane game design?
So, hey, you remember that sword that we broke in literally the first episode of the LP?
I honestly almost didn't. I think most viewers also won't.
So, this is how you fix it. Literally before the final boss, this is how you get your sword back.
And why not? There are broadly a lot of very excellent, and frankly more interesting weapons than this.
Sarah. She said, use this to get it back. Everything that's been taken from you. I know you can do it. You're the only one who ever could.
Thanks, Lumina.
But we're Lumina.
I'll get
Well,
everyone
whatever.
back, including you, Sarah. It's almost over. Blood has to be spilled one last time.
So this is the Ultima weapon. You might remember that this is, that sword that one blacksmith dude told us about, and he was like, it went crazy and killed its owner or some bullshit? Yeah, it's widely the best weapon in the game.
Yeah. Still not very interesting, though. And in New Game Plus, you can do better.
Yeah, but, 2,500 attack, 15 ATB speed, the shield gives you 8 grand plus 20 ATB, just everything about this sword and shield is just ludicrous.
Yeah. So hey, if you were having equipment problems, you are now not having equipment problems anymore, at least in one of your garbs.
Probably 2, realistically, because you're probably not going to be attacking and guarding on the same one.
Anyway, let's go kill God.